Right. So why people even talk like he the best at? He didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30, or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you? All that's just okay.
Is that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
If they fight, I think Shakur wins. I think Shakur wins.
Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall.
Boxing Figures offered divided takes ahead of Shakur Stevenson facing Teofimo Lopez. Gervonta Davis voiced clear irritation when speaking on Stevenson, questioning why fans crown him before he proves himself against elite opposition. Davis argued that hype carries no weight at the top level and suggested that genuine respect is earned only after surviving and beating the very best inside the ring.
35 contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Shakur Stevenson, well, of course he's now 135 after all that stuff, and then Devin Haney.
Right. So why people even talk like he the best at? He didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30, or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you? All that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you going to get hit. What you gonna do when you get hit?
Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri analyzed the upcoming clash, sharing perspectives on both fighters' abilities and public image. Paulie noted that Lopez often receives unfair criticism and is frequently overlooked because Stevenson benefits from greater popularity, a stronger fan following, and wider exposure. Many fans naturally assume Stevenson has the advantage. Still, Paulie stressed that fight night is where narratives collapse, believing Lopez can rise to the occasion. He predicts Lopez will embrace the spotlight, proving his toughness and skill by performing at his peak and showing he can compete with, and possibly defeat, Stevenson.
This situation, because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then they would all come undone only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. But Teofimo has a way, when you're so damn good and he knows you're so damn good and everybody feels like you're gonna beat him, there's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo, again, what I just explained.
He's got the talent.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, well, what about Shakur now? Tank this, tank that. Tank fights the guy that delivers my pizza. He fights the guys in the back that are doing the production. He fights the truck driver. I don't want to hear, because he would never have gone near Teofimo Lopez.
Lamont Roach views the matchup through the lens of Shakur Stevenson's ring control. In his eyes, this fight lacks chaos and instead revolves around composure and structure. Roach sees Stevenson as a master of tempo, using range and timing to force opponents into uncomfortable rhythms from the opening bell. He believes Stevenson's ability to read reactions and disrupt attacks would limit much of Lopez's explosiveness. Rather than a slugfest, Roach envisions a technical display where discipline and precision gradually shut down aggression, preventing Lopez from gaining momentum or sustained success.
Okay, cool.
But and doing that, and so I was always going to fight this year. He knew that too. I was always going to fight this year. It was going to be either like a tune-up or something before I fought him, if we were to get that together.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
If they fight, I think Shakur wins. I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. I think he just, his IQ will frustrate him. And,
wow. Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
I think
explosive?
so, but when you look at Teo's performances against guys that are just pure boxers, it's just like he almost lost to Sandor Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin. Who else?
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win. And he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and it's probably not going to work.
Roy Jones Jr. centers his breakdown on preparation rather than name value. He warns that Lopez cannot afford moments of hesitation against a fighter like Stevenson. Jones explains that Stevenson excels when opponents lose focus or abandon their game plan, instantly exploiting errors with sharp counters and smart positioning. If Lopez enters without peak sharpness and discipline, Jones believes Stevenson will slowly dismantle him through movement and accuracy. While acknowledging Lopez's talent, Jones stresses that skill alone won't suffice, as Stevenson builds control round by round until momentum becomes nearly impossible to reclaim.
And how does Shakur beat Teo and vice versa? Stylistically, how does Teo beat Shakur?
Stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble. He got to take some, get some, and that's his only way to win. If he stays outside and boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's gonna be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
Rolando Romero offers a contrasting view, calling the fight a genuine 50-50 matchup. He bases this on both fighters having already proven themselves at championship level against elite competition. Romero argues that neither Stevenson nor Lopez should be considered inferior in terms of ability. Instead, he highlights the clash of styles, suggesting the outcome will depend on who establishes control first. His take emphasizes uncertainty, where timing, confidence, and in-fight decisions could shape the result more than any perceived technical advantage, making adjustments the true key to victory.
It's a great fight.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fight. You'll really see, because at the end of it, they're both Olympians. They're both multi-division world champions. Teo is an incredible fighter. Shakur is an incredible fighter. Shakur has a really high boxing IQ and a very. Shakur's coming out. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good fight. I like to see it.
Gary Anchuan Russell concentrates on a particular version of Teofimo Lopez rather than judging him broadly. He points to Lopez's performance against Lomachenko as the model he needs to replicate. Russell explains that when Lopez applies pressure with composure and commitment, he becomes extremely difficult to deal with. In that form, Lopez claims the center, controls exchanges, and denies opponents the chance to reset. Russell believes that bringing that same confidence and intensity could interrupt Stevenson's rhythm and keep him from settling defensively. This take respects Stevenson's ability while suggesting Lopez's peak performances prove he can rise when fully locked in.
Play out in the ring.
It's 50-50. In order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight somebody that could be stiff competition, and it'll wind up being a born fight to a degree. You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. You know, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot in this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious, as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know, but if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko, he'll win.
Some analysts reduce the matchup to physical tools. They argue that Lopez possesses slightly greater natural strength, which could matter during exchanges or along the ropes. Stevenson, meanwhile, earns praise for superior speed, particularly his footwork and hand positioning. Analysts say this contrast creates balance, as each fighter holds attributes that counter the other. Strength can limit movement, while speed can neutralize power by avoiding clean shots. This dynamic transforms the bout into a tactical battle rather than a pure slugfest, where imposing physical advantages may decide control.
Fighter, very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But, you know, speed can sometimes nullify power, right?
It depends on if you can use your speed to get you from round to round, as opposed.
Teddy Atlas challenges long-standing criticism aimed at both Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. He notes that fans once accused them of avoiding difficult opponents, but believes that argument no longer applies. Atlas says both fighters are now embracing risky matchups few expected, and that deserves acknowledgement. While questions remain about whether their styles guarantee fireworks, Atlas stresses that excitement isn't limited to chaos. He highlights Stevenson's recent performances, praising his blend of pressure, defense, spacing, inside work, and sharp punishment of mistakes. For Atlas, this fight represents the true essence of boxing skill.
And Teofimo, at certain spots, he's avoiding this guy, he's avoiding that guy. You can't take those shots at these two guys. Definitely can't now. They are stepping up, and they are taking fights that a lot of people are probably surprised they took. Now, a lot of people will say style-wise, Teddy, style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, you know, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite, they will make, you know, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I'll tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science. I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Cepeda, you know, being elusive while being aggressive. You know, walking them down, fighting on the inside, you know, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there, ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about. And
Timothy Bradley adds perspective by warning against overlooking Teofimo Lopez. He insists this is far from an easy task for Stevenson, regardless of technical advantages. Bradley describes Lopez as unpredictable and confident, qualities that can unsettle even disciplined fighters. He portrays Lopez as instinct-driven, capable of sudden decisions that shift momentum. That independence, Bradley argues, makes him dangerous because he doesn't operate strictly within patterns. For Stevenson, this means staying alert and adaptable. Bradley suggests fundamentals alone won't be enough if Lopez breaks expectations mid-fight.
Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. You know, young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that, shoot, you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth that it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, you know, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he going. Because I watched a little bit of Shakur last night. He going to Shakur.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.